The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is a new movie from Nick Cage. This is a movie a lot of us have been anticipating, a lot of us have been wanting, just because it's very much a celebration of Nick Cage and making fun of Nick Cage and kind of trying to channel what makes him so special, what makes him such a unique presence in Hollywood. Trying to channel all of that into one movie. It reminds me a lot of the Community episode where Abed goes down that whole Nick Cage thing. I think that very much summarizes how people feel about him, and I think this movie is also trying to channel that same energy. So yeah, I went into this just looking for a good time. I thought it was going to be something much different than what it was. A lot of my kind of pre notions about the movie were very different than what we got, which isn't necessarily a bad thing at all. I'm going to get into my thoughts in a second, but yeah, this is a very different movie than what I initially kind of thought it was going to be. But I'm really happy to say this is one of the most likable movies to have come out in a while. I ended up really loving this one. I understand the people who don't like it, the people who feel disappointed. It kind of falls down some of the same tropes as other Hollywood comedies do. It kind of follows that same formula. The two their names are escaping me, but the two CIA detective and that whole kind of subplot really does feel like a I don't know, very Hollywoody, very stock comedy material. It's just it feels very by the books, and the first act of this movie, I do want to say, is very cliche, is very blech, is very in love with itself, and is very kind of just it wasn't bad. I'm not gonna come out here and say that really any parts of this movie were terrible, but that one specifically, the first 20 minutes or so really just didn't do anything for me. And before Pedro Pascal's character came into the movie, I don't know, I wasn't feeling it too much. But once we got past the point, once you get to the action, once you get to the meat of the story, this movie just kept me smiling all throughout the film. Like I said, it's one of the most likable movies I have seen in a really long time. Not a lot of movies are made like this, just for pure comedy, for pure laughs, and I guess for a good reason. A lot of those movies tend to suck, but this one really kind of pinned down and nailed down how to make a feel-good movie. And this movie, that's all it is. It makes you feel good. It makes you laugh, and it's exciting. It's all of the things you would want from a ridiculous premise like this done well. It's not just its premise, is what I'm trying to say there. And what could have been seen as a really self-indulgent movie turns into something really heartfelt, laugh out loud, funny, a lot of thrilling action. It puts a smile on your face. This movie, coming out of it, if you are enjoying it, you're going to be smiling. You're going to be laughing along with it. You're going to be like, wow, that movie really put me in a good mood in a weird way. I don't know why. I came out feeling that way. I was like, I kind of needed a movie like this. I needed a movie to come along, not take itself too seriously, not try to be a statement on anything, and not try to be this really super meta, super deep and dense thing. And it just wasn't. I'm not going to take away from the good filmmaking that is clearly on display here, but I also think it's okay to like movies that aren't as complex, that aren't as deep as you would hope. Or I don't know if anyone was hoping this movie would be deep, but not as I don't know. Not everything has to be the most original thing in the world. Not everything has to be absolutely like grand cinema, and this movie isn't. And I think it works in its favor. I would have kind of not really had a good time with it if it was trying to be something more than what it wasn't. And what it tries to be, which is a really, really, really funny, smartly written, very well performed buddy action movie, buddy comedy action comedy. I don't know how to use it. It's like a buddy cop movie without the cop part, but it's an action comedy. That's how I'm going to describe this one. But it does that so well, and lets the actors kind of push the writing forward so well, and has legitimately really good cinematography and interesting directing choices, that it goes above and beyond the normal action comedy fare, but it also doesn't do it in a way that you would expect. It does it through the cliches. It does it through the normalcy. It does it through being just a really good blockbuster summer comedy. And I think that's really refreshing, honestly. Nick Cage was meant for a movie like this. Of all people who are like these big personas, these big kind of like, I don't want to say memes, but what Nick Cage is, I think he was perfect for this kind of movie. And it's a very ballsy movie for him to make, just because, again, it could have been so self-indulgent and or gone in the other direction and would have been way too self-deprecating, way too, like, irony poisoning. But it hits that middle ground and that sweet spot so well of tapping into what makes Nick Cage so special while also poking fun at some of the terrible movies he's made over the past couple of years and his kind of persona, his ego. And I think he really does a great job in this film. And Pedro Pascal just gives an effortlessly good performance. He is turning into one of my favorite actors ever. It's just such a pure performance. He is having so much fun, clearly, with this role, and I think he really nails down what they were going for. I think he just really does a perfect job in this thing. It's hard to describe when a performance like this is good. You just kind of have to be like, watch it, because it was just like, go watch this movie and you'll know what I mean. Because Pedro Pascal was fantastic. He was hilarious. He was heartfelt. He sold the character really well, and his friendship with Nick Cage felt really genuine. I think this movie, again, was really, really heartwarming because of their friendship and because their connection was so strong and so genuine. And the action felt justified. All of it was really cool and well shot. The direction felt really purposeful. The writing felt sharp, even though it was super goofy. Like all of the filmmaking in this movie is top tier. It is really well done. It's just this movie is a lot more mainstream than a lot of other, like, quote unquote really great movies that have come out this year. This movie plays more into the mainstream, and I think that's okay. It's okay to have a popcorn movie every once in a while like this one, and it just puts you in a good mood. Excuse me. Yeah, it's cliche. Yeah, a lot of the villains aren't that fantastic. Some of the side characters really make you kind of, that wasn't that phenomenal. But honestly, I really didn't care walking out of this thing. I think that The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent was one of the best comedies I've seen in a long time. I know, I don't know, because a part of me wants to give this movie a grade lower than I'm going to give it, just because of some of its shortcomings, because some of its clichéness can be a bit much at times. I did not connect with really any of the side characters, but there's also a part of me that genuinely loved this movie and loved what it was doing, and really connected with all the humor about movies and screenwriting, and really connected with the two main characters and their friendship, and really connected with a lot of the action sequences and the direction, and connected with this movie, and had so much fun with it, and got so much entertainment value out of it. And I can recognize that the not only the writing in this film, but just the overall filmmaking was really good. So I'm going to give The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent an A-. I really loved this movie. I understand, again, the shortcomings people have with it. I have some issues with it, but I can look past them and really love this movie for what it is. So yeah, that is my review of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. It took me a little bit to see it, but I finally did. It's kind of limited. It kind of has more of a limited release around me. Not a lot of theaters are having a lot of showtimes for it, which sucks. But I guess, oh well. Anyway, I'm going to be working on a roundup review. I already have one movie watched for that. So look forward to that. That's mainly what I'm going to be focusing on. And happy Star Wars Day also. Didn't really have anything new to talk about with Star Wars. I mean, the new Obi-Wan trailer dropped. I haven't watched it yet. But yeah, happy Star Wars Day to all the Star Wars fans out there. And I will see you guys later.